Hi, my name is Tilak Pasala. I'm presenting a case called Snare, Retrieval, and a Save as part of the Ultimate Structural Heart Cases Part 1 in CBI 2020. Here are my disclosures. This is a 91-year-old female who presented with recurrent heart failure and progressive shortness of breath. Her past medical history includes coronary artery disease with prior bypass surgery with a vein graft to RCA. She also had extensive peripheral vascular disease, had an extra anatomic aortocarotid and right subclavian bifurcating hemoshield conduit graft, and also a left external iliac stent. Her prior history also includes permanent atrial fibrillation on Xarelto. She presented with severe aortic stenosis with a high STS mortality of 21%. The pre-procedural imaging showed she had severe aortic stenosis with a mean gradient of 45 millimeter Hg mercury and a valve area less than 1. Her coronary angiogram showed that her coronary arteries were patent, including the vein graft to the RCA. Her CT imaging showed that she had a valvular area of 463 millimeter square, which accounted for 26 millimeter sapien S3 valve. Here is our peripheral imaging, which showed extensive stenosis in both iliac arteries. More importantly, she had a high-grade stenosis in the distal aorta, precluding even transcaval access. So we looked at other alternative access. As you can see, her innominate had extensive calcification, which was not a good choice either. Left subclavian, which is not shown in this picture, had high-grade stenosis as well. So we opted for a direct aortic access. There was a space behind the hemoshield graft that we could access direct aortic. So a surgeon made a 3 to 4 centimeter right second intercostal incision. A purse string suture was placed on the aorta. Initially, an 8 French sheath was placed through which a AL1 catheter with a straight tip glide wire were used to cross the valve. Then this wire was exchanged for a safari wire. On the next picture, as you can see, this is the Certitude Delivery System with a pre-mounted 26 millimeter sapien valve. So the Certitude system has various components. As you can see, there is a tapered tip at the distal part. There are two radio-opaque shoulders, which shoulder the valve on top of the balloon. And on the proximal end, there is a handle with a flex wheel, as well as two lumens for guide wire, as well as balloon inflation port. So as soon as we deployed the valve, as you can see in this picture, we saw blood in the indefibrillator. So we knew right away that the balloon was burst. Patient at this time was hemodynamically stable, so we did not panic. The first instinct was to pull the system. As soon as we did that, as you can see in this particular video that's playing, this distal shoulder flayed out and got stuck to the sheath. As soon as that happened, the proximal shoulder got detached and came out of the sheath, including the handle. So what you see in the picture is the handle, the delivery sheath system with the proximal shoulder. So here is a magnified view of the same. So you see that there's a flailed out distal part of the radio-opaque shoulder that got stuck at the sheath level. So the balloon burst horizontally, and you see that the distal part of the balloon is still stuck with the distal system, including the inner tubing, and the proximal system, including the handle and the delivery catheter, came out, which increased the size of the sheath to accommodate for the distal shoulder, but unfortunately it did not come into the sheath for us to pull it out. We upsized up to a size of 24 French size sheath. Here's what the operating room looked like. You can see a thoracotomy, and there is an inner tubing that is being handled by the interventional cardiologist. Surgeon is taking care of the aortic access with the purse string sutures, and we're working through the inner tubing with the safari wire, doing our exchanges as well as catheter manipulation as well. Here is where we suspect the site of detachment of the inner tubing, and the proximal handle happened at the tip where the inner tubing was attached to the handle. So here's what we did next. Patient became a little bit hemodynamically unstable. Surgeons felt the ECMO would give us more stability, and we were also thinking of transapical access. A thoracotomy was on the left side of the apical site was done about 3 to 4 centimeter. Again, a purse string sutures was placed on the apex, and an 8 French sheath was introduced into the ventricle. And in the meantime, we exchanged the safari wire through the inner tubing for a more softer J wire in order to snare it out through the transapical site. So here you can see on the left picture that the snare, which is the 1830 N snare, was being introduced to the 8 French sheath in order to snare the wire as well as the distal delivery system. Here we were able to catch hold of the J wire and hence getting pulled through the sheath. In the next picture, as soon as the delivery system hit the apex, the surgeon was able to use a forceps to pull the delivery system out while putting his finger for tamponade, as well as using purse string to decrease the bleeding. And we pulled out the wire through the transapical site as well. So in conclusion, balloon rupture of the transcatheter valve is rare, but a serious complication during TAVR. There is a chance of entrapment of the conical shaped distal radiopaque shoulder of the Certitude Edwards system, and it can detach from the inner tubing as well. It is rare, but it can be retrieved transapically, as we have shown. So it's important to understand the TAVR delivery systems so that you can salvage from serious complications. Thank you.